Hello everyone. Tonight we have another story. It's called The Shooting Star. Let's get started. The Shooting Star. It's time for bed, Emily, said Mom. You've been playing that game on the computer for long enough. But this is my favorite game, Mom, said Emily. It's the one about the stars and planets. If I can get the shooting star to land on this planet, I'll have my top score. Well, just 5 more minutes then, said Mom. But suddenly the computer screen went blank. The room was plunged into darkness. What's happened? Cried Emily. It's not supposed to do that. I think we've had a power cut, said Mom. All the lights are out. They could hear Jake calling, Hey, the TV's gone off right in the middle of the football game. Mom and Emily felt their way to the door and into the family room. I've found the torch, said Gran, but it needs new batteries. Emily went over to the window and looked out. There were no lights on anywhere. The trees were all black shadows in the garden, and everything was quiet and still. Just then the torchlight faded away, and the room was dark again. Oh no, said Emily. Now we haven't got any light at all. And the power's still off, said Jake. I'll never know who won the football. I can't finish my star game on the computer, said Emily. You don't need electricity to use the stars, smiled Gran. They have been making their own light for millions of years, long before anyone was ever on Earth. She opened the door that led to the garden. Come outside with me, she said. Outside? Said Emily. But it's even darker outside. We can't see anything out there, said Jake. Oh, I think we can, said Gran. There's a crescent moon tonight, so it's a perfect night for stargazing. Let's give it a try. The children followed Gran down the steps and they all stood on the back lawn together. Now look up at the sky, said Gran. On a clear night like this, it is such a beautiful sight. Away up there, you can see all the real stars and planets. Emily looked up at the tiny star. She could see so many of them, and they were all so far away, twinkling up high in the dark night sky. Some were shining with a brilliant light, others were paler. Others were paler, and seemed to be disappearing. Grant told the children the names of some of the stars, and she pointed to their place in the sky. And if we're lucky, she said, we might even see a shooting star. Emily began to feel very small and strange as she listened to Gran. Do some stars really shoot through the sky? She asked. How do they do that? Well, replied Gran, shooting stars are not true stars. They're just small rocks in the atmosphere. They'll burn up and shine as they fall towards Earth, but for a moment they look like stars, streaking across the sky. Suddenly, the power came on again. The lawn was flooded with lights, and the sky seemed to get darker. Jake cheered and ran up the steps. Emily and Gran looked took one last look at the night sky and then walked slowly inside. Emily was very sleepy, but when she went to bed, she didn't pull the curtains to shut out the night sky as she usually did. Instead, she lay in the dark, gazing out her window. The stars that she could see were very bright, and they seemed to be twinkling down at her. As she looked up at them, she remembered everything that Gran had told her. Then, just as she was about to close her eyes, she saw something move. Was one of the stars falling? For a brief moment, a tiny light streaked across the sky, then vanished. That just have been a shooting star, whispered Emily. I've just seen a real shooting star. And she smiled to herself as she drifted off to sleep. Okay, guys, that's the end of today's story. Hope you enjoyed it and looking for new shooting stars in the sky. Good night.